All right, everybody. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all coming back for those that's tuning in. Today, I want to talk to you guys and gals about some information that's pretty much universal. It's pretty much universal, and you can use it in the corporate world. You could use it in the spiritual world. You could use it just navigating life in general, you know? And what I want to talk to y'all about is the power of positioning, the power of putting yourself in position. What does that mean? Well, first of all, let's talk about um, what a position is. Now, right off the bat, when we talk about position, um, you think about, some people think of sex right off the bat because you know how their minds go. It is what it is, and it is true that those are positions. But that ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about positions in life that you put yourself into, or that you allow others to put yourself into based on the vulnerabilities that you have in your mind and in your heart and with your beliefs. Now, one of the main, I'm not going to say problems, but one of the main issues that we personally have, our culture, is we don't stand on nothing. We don't, like, for us, we don't necessarily stand on anything for us. I've witnessed people. I've been in debates. I've been in political situations. Where a non-African American, they standing on their principles. They standing on their principles. They standing on their what's going on? They standing on their religious beliefs. Their religious beliefs that's been passed down through positive heritage. Our religious beliefs was not passed down through positive heritage. If you do the research, I'm not telling you how to believe, I'm just basing it on history. If you do the research, our religion was forced on us. They did not want us to know how to read. And if you don't know how to read, you don't know how to grasp information and comprehend it and think about it, process it, and put it in motion in this life. I don't want to go heavy, but I'm going to go heavy. Let's talk about words. Basically, what words do is take thoughts and bring them forth to other people to see what you're thinking. That's how words really are. If it's a fire truck coming and somebody that's deaf can't hear me and I say, hey, move, you about to get hit back. What do my words mean? They mean absolutely nothing. By the time they're trying to read my lips, they probably got hit by the fire truck. So that person's receptors, which is the ears, you got the eye gate, the ear gate, you got other senses as well. But that individual sensors that can pick up the vibrations that's coming from my mouth, that's formulated through my heart and my head, and emotions to say, hey, I do not want you to get hit by a truck. Move. If they can't process that or feel that vibration, or if they can't receive that, there's no point of the words. That's like when you say you cast a pearl upon swines or it's fallen upon deaf ears. Or basically, my words are useless, is what I'm saying. My words are useless to that particular individual. Now, if I knew sign language, right? Now, in the behavior world, we have what we call verbal communication. Verbal communication is not necessarily spoken communication. Verbal communication is someone who possibly might use sign language. You see what I'm saying? Somebody might use or vocal communication, or it's different aspects of communication. At the end of the day, it's a vibration, okay? That's facilitated, that's put out. You understand it, you grasp it, you process it from your intellect or what you've learned, and you use it for your life to either to better you or a detriment to make you mad. So the information that these other cultures gather about themselves, and they keep reiterating all these words they keep reading every day, those are just reiterating the vibrations. It's like practicing the guitar. Bing, 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 bing. They just keep hitting those vibrations. That's why when you go to church, it feel good when you hear the music play. Because it's just a whole bunch of vibrations that put you in peace, or get you hyped up, or make you want to throw your shoes off and run around the church screaming and hollering, rolling on the ground. It ain't nothing but vibrations. It's either spoken vibrations, vibrations you heard, or just what you feeling. But it's all vibrations. You're nothing but a receptor. Now, as we go through life, all we doing is coming in contact with different vibrations. That's all we doing. You know, when I was growing up in my, old neighborhood, that vibration was woo. I mean, as soon as you ain't gotta walk out the house, you could feel that vibration in your house. Sometimes I would close the windows when it wasn't no AC, it wasn't none of that. Especially in the summertime. So I would close the windows just so I wouldn't hear all the noise. So I couldn't hear the gunshots or mother effer this or the ice cream truck or pigeons getting ate back cats and people getting beat up. And man, when I think back on it, I don't think about it as negative because it was my reality. So though that was my, I guess you could say like a video game, I had to get through those trials. And I appreciate the creator for allowing me to do that. And the individuals that was there to help as well. But at the end of the day, I had to be attuned to different vibrations. Now let's go back to the hood. Why are you always going back to the hood? Because just because you make it out of the hood don't mean people behind you don't need information. You see what I'm saying? So if you can't relate to this, somebody else that needs this information can. So for me, I used to align myself with individuals that I knew, how can I say this? That was trying to do something for themselves outside of the condition we were in. I tried to align myself with other individuals that had some type of vision. If they could be ignorant as heck, but if they could ball, and they was talking about they gonna go to college for ball, I'm with you. I kick it with you because you got goals, because you literally got something on your mind. Now my other fellow counterparts talking about some, they want to go rob banks and all this. I ain't on that. It's not, no. The thing about my generation, I can only speak on my generation from my personal perspective. The thing about my generation, there was a lot of new things that came through. And I don't want to go into detail, but you had the drug flow that switched. You had from cocaine powder to crack. You had heroin to cocaine. Then it came to, at that time, powder then to crack. That's 3 or 4 different type of eras. You went from disco to 80s music to hip hop. That's another transition. You had guys that was daddies going to work every day, You know what I'm saying? Bringing home the bacon, taking care of the wife and the family and the kids to, you know, older adults that was crackheads. And I'm not downgrading the crackheads because it was something new. It was a new drug. Anything new, people are going to try. Just like the young guys now doing lean. Codeine ain't new. It's not. You know, Dr. Pembar back in the day at Avondale. Y'all know what it is. I ain't got to say no more. You know what I'm saying? But it's new to this era. So to them, it's new because they never been here before. They wasn't here in the 80s and the 90s. So it's new. Now, even back in the day, navigating the streets, you had to put yourself in a certain type of position. What do I mean by that? You had your broke cats, then you had your always broke cats, but knew how to get money. What's the difference? You had your broke cats that was just lazy. They was just, you know, walking around. If they see a session going on, hey, let me hit that. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's a hoop game going on and people side betting on the hoop game, they'll have a couple of dollars. Who you betting with? Here, put 10 with that and bet for me. You know, them kind of cats. But then you also had guys that would get money, but they're splurging and spending to their next lick. Now, let's take these two guys. You got your broke guy that really, he just lived broke. He got a broke mentality is really what it is, survival to the minimum. He was a minimalist, basically. Well, these type of individuals, wasn't just one person. But then you had individuals that was goal setters, go-getters. They were had a strong desire for what they did. They wasn't that good of people as far as morals, but they would get their money, but they'll be broke. The difference between these two groups, though, is the go-getters could go around the hustlers. Like if they grew up around them. Because the guys that would go out and get, they wouldn't get the guys in the hood till they got extreme. But they could go around the hustlers. They could go around the ballers. They could go around the, you know, the cats that was actually doing something. Or the guys that was just working with something on their mind. Working for the city, maintenance man back then, whatever. They had something on their mind so them guys could come around because they had something. The other guys that just was flat out existing, they couldn't come in those circles. They position wasn't up to par. They work ethic, they wasn't up to par. So if you out in the street right now and you feel like you outside of the circle, it's because you don't have the credentials to put yourself in the right position. You know, on the street cred, you put in work, this, and that. I don't recommend that. You know what I'm saying? Because the detriment could be jail and life in prison and things of that nature. So I would definitely say don't do it. But if you are in that circle, you have to be in a certain type of position to connect with certain type of cats. You know? And if you got a reputation for robbing, ain't nobody and nobody really grew up with you and know you like that, ain't nobody really gonna want to be around you. And the guys you rob, you don't know who they related to. I mean, you might have robbed one of your dudes' connects and don't know it. And you messing his money up. I'm just saying. And if you messing his money up and you ain't significant to him, I mean, he could get you up through the same way the person you robbed could get you up through. And then he could send a little, like, it's, your position is not good, is what I'm saying. You're putting yourself in a position that people that don't even know you feel that you're a threat and they want to do something to you. That's not a good position. Then you got the bum. I don't want to call him a bum. You got the guy in it that's not using any type of skills or talent that they have or nor ability. Their position is terrible. But then you got the female. Then you got the female who has either Section 8 or subsidized housing, who has an apartment, who's going to school, who has some kids, get child support, You know what I'm saying? Maybe got one good baby daddy, the other baby daddy not so much. And I'm not downgrading no baby daddy. I'm just saying that's how it go. Y'all know. Um, the thing about her, she might be broker than the both of them, except for when she get her stamps every month and when she get her check from her job, because you know she probably working too, or if she get cash assistance. But the thing is, in 3 years, 2, 3 years, whenever she finish her schooling or her training, she's gonna be in a better position. See, the thing is, all three of them individuals have goals. He want to survive. The lower level dudes want to survive. They just want to get high. You know, some of them be clean, some of them, most of them look dusty. I'm going to just keep it real. The hustler, the robber, hustler, go-getter, not the hustlers, but the robber, go-getter dudes, we all know they position. Some could make it, some might not make it, and some might be in jail. Depends on the risk they trying to take and the people that they, take stuff from. So their position could be positive, but it could be bleak as well. So that's a 50-50 shot. But at the end of the day, if you look at probability or the law of averages or, for people that don't quit, especially in today's society, the girl with the kids that's focused, using her brain, staying out the way, keeping her mind on a task, her life is going to be in a better position than theirs in 5 years. See, that's what happens with the hustler on the street that run out of money or that take a loss or quit hustling. If they don't have nothing next, they have no way to put themselves in another position. That's why you see guys or females that play professional ball, they make all the millions of dollars. Once they done with that, they put themselves in another position. Whether it's news, analyst or whatever else they trying to do. It's all about positioning yourself for something positive. For something positive. Some negative, but something positive. That's like even with your children. Why are you sending them to school anyway? So they won't be dumb. So basically what she's doing is putting herself in a better position. And the thing is, they're even putting their kids in a better position because as the lowly guy that's lazy, his kids is watching him just bum all day. So his kids is learning how to bum. And they watching him. See, the thing about kids, they model behavior. They model what their parents do. They model the things that they see. They model what they hear. They model the people that they're connected to. They model that. They model that information. They model the way they walk, talk, look. You know what I'm saying? Things to say in order to get access. And the things that work for them, they're going to keep doing them because they're getting reinforced. So it reinforces that behavior. So they continue to do it, which brings negative behavior patterns, henceforth the ghetto mentality. Every time you pull a gun out and rob somebody and you get money, it's going to reinforce you robbing them. You see what I'm saying? But if you keep robbing people and going to jail, it get to a point where you get tired. Like I hear guys say, I ain't got no more in me. That means the negative punishment, which they took your freedom, worked finally. And you don't want no more parts of that. Now, the robber hustler well, not the hustler, but the robber dudes, they kids modeling their behavior. They don't see them on no schedule. They don't see them going to with no work clothes, things of that nature. They just doing what they doing, listen to their phone call, talking about they got guns, this, and that. So their kids is going to model that behavior. And the girl that's on welfare or whatnot, her kids are seeing her going to work, get up going to work, going to school, studying, fixing them breakfast, all this and that. I ain't saying she the best mom in the world, but I'm saying she's trying every day, putting forth an effort. Her children, especially the girls, are going to model that behavior if she keeps them focused. But even if the girls get unfocused, they could be hood, as people call them, hood rats. They see their mama working with a car, with jewelry, with money. They're going to do that. That's why nowadays it's different from back in my days. Because back in my days, the thing was a lot of women would just get a check. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with it. It was survival at the time. But the new thing, the girls ain't on that. Girls want to get out here, start businesses, and get money, which is great. Guys, we always had that mentality of we had to go get it or we going to do it, so we going to do it anyway. But the flip side now is the game that actually built guys up is tearing them down. Because the money ain't like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about that money could get depressing because you don't have access to it. It's not the way that it used to be. Guys that had a whole bunch of money, that stash ain't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? That's why no matter what you're doing or where you're doing it, you have to put yourself in the right position for your next move. So it was chess and checkers. I'm not going to say chess and checkers. Everybody don't know how to play chess. Everybody don't know how to play checkers. But everybody has to play the game of life because you breathing. So you have to put yourself in position. Now, real quick, before I get into the meat of this, I just happened to be reading some articles. And I ran across an article where this guy, he had got diagnosed with some type of medical condition. He lost his job. He ain't had no money, none of that. He ain't had no benefits or whatnot. So he went and robbed the bank for $1. $1. So he could go to jail so that he could get the medical procedure he needed paid for by the state. You know what I'm saying? So that he won't die. Now, he put himself in two positions. The first position he put himself in was he would now be considered a criminal, quote unquote. And he had to do some time, he had to get a charge of a felony for robbing a bank. So that's one position he put himself in, which was a negative position. But he turned a negative into a positive because he felt that was his only way of getting the operation he needed to still remain breathing. So for him to be a felon breathing is better than dying, non-felon. So he had to put himself in the position to live. Now, putting yourself in position is never going to be easy. Well, let me take that back. It could be easy, but usually positions that are valuable are hard to get, except with the exception of nepotism, which is if I was a rich dad and if I have children, if they're up to task, I'm gonna put them in position to make millions of dollars because they're gonna get their inheritance anyway, if we keep it in the family. So in some cases, you're born into position. Henceforth, royalty or families with millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of people, you have to put yourself in a position to earn more. How do you earn more? Of course, go to school, get trained, things of that nature. It's not about how much you earn, though. That's not the important part. The important part is putting yourself in position to keep as much as possible of the amount that you earned. You know what I'm saying? Having a good tax person that could assist you with your write-offs. Having individuals that know how to save you money, how to make you money. You see what I'm saying? So it's different ways of putting yourself in position. So when we talk about the importance of position, if you don't act when you're supposed to act steadfast, or when that opportunity hits, you're going to miss out on the position. You're going to miss out. Like government jobs. People stay in them jobs for years and years and years and years and years. And once they open, if you don't apply, you is not going to be in that position because somebody else ready to move in. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the name drop, but I'm going to do it because everybody can relate. It's like Ice Cube and his wife. You know what I'm saying? I still got the magazine. When Ice Cube talked about how he met his wife, how he hollered at her, and she said she had a boyfriend, and he respected it. You know what I'm saying? And, he seen her again another day and hollered back at her. See, he put himself in a position to gain a wife because he vocally put forth a vibration that she picked up. She was receptive. Henceforth, they got a family and a dynasty at this point. You see what I'm saying? He put himself in a position to create his future family by putting out a vibration that she was receptive to. She allowed herself to be receptive to that vibration, to receive it, put herself in a position. I'm quite sure she brought some stuff to the table. Women bring stuff to the men's table all the time to keep them right and other things of that nature. But she put herself in position by being a woman that she is for them two to come together and build a dynasty. How many dynasties have you missed out on by not putting yourself in position? Some of y'all ain't got husbands right now because you walked right past him when he tried to holler at you. Now let's talk a little bit more about position. So let's start off. This is straight from the Webster's Dictionary. Look it up if you need to. So, what is position? What is a position? Position is an act of placing or arranging. So it's putting something somewhere. It's literally somebody or something putting something somewhere. So it's you putting yourself somewhere. Not staying in one place, is you placing yourself somewhere or arranging your life to a point where you're in a certain place. The laying down of a preposition or thesis. Now, what is a thesis? For anybody that's been to college, or you could look it up, a thesis is if you're writing a paper and you create a topic. You have to have a specific topic for the whole paper. That's the thesis of the paper. What would be an example? Putting yourself in position. That's the thesis of what we're talking about. Putting yourself in the right position. But why is that important? You have to have a goal with the position that you want to be in. Why do you want to be in that position? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it just to kick it? Is it to rub elbows with that particular group? Or you feel that's where you're supposed to be? That's where you belong. It also talks about the point or area occupied by a physical object, a location. You took her position at the head of the line. Now listen to that. That's the example that they used. It's a location, and the sentence that they use as an example is, she took her position at the head of the line. Now that might just sound like a regular sentence to you, but when you analyze it, she took her position. Now, what if she was in the back of the line and she felt like in her own mind from watching her mama told her she was a queen. You don't never be in the back for nobody. And in her mind, what her mama instilled in her was, I ain't about to be in the back of no line. I'm taking my position in the front because I'm a queen. See, she could take her position based on what she's been taught, what she's modeled, what she has in her head and in her heart, which put her actions forth. So she could take her own position in the front of the line, which is the head, not the tail. Now, you can also say, or think about it in this perspective, that she took her position at the front of the line because somebody else told her, hey, your assigned space is the front of the line. So just because you're at the front of the line in position, you might be in the location where you're supposed to be, but you're not fully embraced of what you can be. Because you're just there. And that's the same thing as being in nepotism. You're going to be vice president of my company. When I pass along, you're going to have, you're going to be the CEO or the president. You and your brothers and all this and that, whatever. So this is the same aspect. The teacher or whoever told you get in the front of the line, you put in position. Either one, you in position, but it's what you going to do with it. You see what I'm saying? It also talks about a certain arrangement of bodily parts. It also talks about market and securities. We ain't going to get into stocks and bonds. I'm not going to bore you to death. But when we do talk about stocks and bonds, you have to be in a certain position. You're either going to be in a buying position or a selling position. You're either going to be in a bullish market or a bearish market. You see what I'm saying? What does that mean? You're either going to buy stocks or investments and they're going to go up in value and you're going to make money, or you're going to buy stocks or investments or hedge funds that you're betting on that's going to lose money in the future. So you're betting on a bear market. So you're betting on making money when you lose. Either way, you have to pick a position with your money and stay there. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to go into puts and calls. I don't want to go into stop losses and all of that. That's stock terms. We ain't going to do all that. The point is, you have to gain a position. Now, if I do recall, according to the King James Bible, even God, even the God of the Christian Bible says, you either be hot or you either be cold. You can't be in the middle because I'm going to spew you out. Basically, he's saying what do spew mean? Tua. He's going to spit you out. Which means he can't just going to take you out his mind and his heart. He's going to spit you out like you're disgusting because you ain't take a position. You being a spineless wimp, I guess you would say. Whatever. Now that's the noun aspect of position, but you also have a verb aspect of it, which says you've been positioned to be put in a certain position, like you're rearranging chairs. What's the significance of that? Because you could be in that position that they use and just play you like a puppet. Some of y'all done been there where they put you at this location because you know how to run a company, this location, this location, this location, but you're on salary. So you're in a position, a management position, but your money ain't showcasing the position they putting you in because they making money at each facility they putting you in. And you getting the same amount. So I'm just saying you might want to reevaluate your position. If you already know how to run those facilities, why wouldn't you start your own company and run them and get all the money? I'm just saying. Anyway, that's for somebody. Let's keep it pushing. Now, the importance of posturing. Now, what is posturing? When you get in some type of position or you want to get in a position, you have to posture. You have to have the right posture. What is posture? This is considered great posture. You have to hold yourself up. Your back, your spine has to be erect, and you have to be symmetrical. Not radiologically symmetrical. That will be round. You're like a birdie or a linear. I don't want to get into that. Anyway, you got to be in the right posture. What is posture? The definition is the position of bearing of the body, whether charismatic or assumed for special purposes or erect posture. The pose of a model or artistic figure. Let's stop right there. What's the difference between a pretty girl and a model? A pretty girl could be cold. She could be fine. Or a dude. They could be fine. But when they strike a pose for the camera, they might look crazy. They might not know how to pose. A model might not be as fine, but she know how to smile with her eyes. She know how to make love to the camera with her looks. See, she's putting herself in a position of beauty because she knows how to do it. Let's keep it moving. Now I want to say this before we get into this. When we talk about posturing or being in the right position, whether you talking about the law of attraction or whether you're talking about the Bible and receiving salvation or faith or whatever, you have to believe as though it was so. So you have to put yourself in the mental position to receive. So let's actually see what the Bible says about posturing and position. I'm going to go light. I'm not going to go heavy. This is not a Bible study. What does the Bible say about posture? If you go to Colossians 3, 1 and 2, and Colossians 3 and 2, we're going to start at 1 and 2. It says, so if you're serious about living this new resurrection life with Christ. Now, since we're talking about the Bible, we're talking about Christ. I'm not preaching. I'm not saying this is what I believe. I'm not saying you should convert. None of that. I'm just going straight out the Bible. So if you're serious about living this new resurrection life with Christ, act like it. That's the words that's in the Bible. If you believe the Bible, it's telling you. It says, okay, you talking all that smack. So if you're serious about living this new resurrection life with Christ, you got to act like it. We're saying you got to posture like you already believe it. Yes, Lord. Like you got to go, you see. That's what you do if that's what you believe. You see the Muslims, when they believe, they willing to do some extreme things. They posturing themselves in a different way. Not all Muslims. I'm talking about the extremists on the news. Okay. You also, it says, pursue the things over which Christ presides. So if you're a Christian, look in the Bible of where Christ puts his heart, where he postures himself with 12 disciples with positive, other, quote unquote, positive spirits, other than the one that betrayed him, and some others that act like they didn't know him. His boys denied him. We ain't gonna go through that though. Don't shuffle along. Eyes to the ground, absorbed with the things right in front of you. That's heavy. It says don't shuffle along. Basically, don't go through life, I'm cool. Remember we talked about them guys at the beginning, the users? Basically, they shuffling along. It said eyes to the ground. Basically, looking right here. Eyes to the ground is not saying they doing this. Eyes to the ground is saying they looking to the things of earth to fulfill their needs. That's what eyes to the ground mean. It said absorb with the things right in front of them. Our phones. Everything that's on that phone. Everything. Computers. TVs. All these movies and stuff. Basically, we get consumed, and I'm not saying it's bad, but we get overconsumed, which is bad. Overconsumption is bad. We get consumed about the things that's right in front of us. And check out what else it says. Look up and be alert to what is going on around Christ. If you believe in his word, where's Christ? He's supposed to be in heaven, right? That's why he's telling you to look up. But you don't supposed to believe in aliens. If Jesus ain't here on earth and he up there, is he an alien? I'm just asking a question if he ain't on earth. That would technically be considered an extraterrestrial. Am I tripping? No, that's the definition. Anyway, look up and be alert. So just because you're looking up, you still got to be alert. Why? Because you got to put yourself in position to receive or to see what's going on. Why are you looking up? To what is going on around Christ. That's where the action is. See things from his perspective. It says, if then you were raised with Christ, seek those things which are above, which Christ is sitting at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not on the things of earth. And we already talked about that. Most of us, I'm just saying, we consume. Overconsumption. Physically, we overconsuming food. Visually, we overconsuming stuff that's not assisting us with growth. I'm not saying don't watch it. I'm just saying balance it out. That's all. I mean, I'm not telling you to do nothing. It would be a good idea to balance it out. I mean, that's what we need, right? But also the key for me is it says focus on the things that are above, which means this ain't me, this is the Bible. This is not it. While we living daily, we should not only be focusing on, this is what the Bible says, not me. We should not only be focusing on what we see and what we doing with our action and our position. We need to be focusing on the things that's happening up there. What is heaven? That's another video. What is heaven? I'm just saying. We're going to get into that. We're going to stay focused on our thesis. the reason you should be in position. Now, I want to go a little heavy because I'm going to be fair. What does the Kemetic say about Christ? What is the Kemetic? It's the African science. The Kemetic African science predates Christianity, whether you like it or not. I don't care. It's facts. The sun is hot. You might not like it, but it's hot. It's hydrogen. It's hot. The sun was here before a lot of other things formed. It was. So therefore, that's the truth. You can look it up. Kemetic science was here prior to Christianity. It's just a fact. It's what it is. What does African Kemetic science say about putting yourself in position? In Christ. African Kemetic science, which predates Christianity by thousands of years, says that you are the Christ. What? You're Jesus? No. Before Jesus was written about, okay? There were other people, other things, other sciences, and other information, other books that was written before the Bible was written, okay? I just want you to understand this, okay? Now, these books or this science or these religions that predates the Bible, not saying it wasn't already hidden somewhere or not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that was already put together on papyrus paper. Okay? This ain't no folk tales, no he shape. They still have this stuff now. It's even on the walls. It says you are the Christ, which means you are the anointed one. You are the good one. You are the anointed one with, quote unquote, his anointing or the universal power of nature. Okay? I'm not saying you Superman that can fly and tell a future. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is you got it within your heart to be Christ-like already, to be a good person. That's all it's saying. You are an extension of the Creator. See, in Kemetic science, it says you are an extension, just like you're an extension of your parents. You are an extension of creation. For some reason, we want to put ourselves above other creative things that nature created. The alligator is older than us. Well, I can't necessarily say that. But it's been proven they've been here for hundreds of millions of years. They found skeletons, but we don't get into that either. But the point I'm trying to make is it's already inside of you to be Christ-like. And this stuff was already written down prior to the Bible. You're an extension of the Creator. You can have what you think and say by having a desire in your heart and a clear vision. Now, you heard what the Bible said. The Bible said, focus on the things that Jesus focused on, the things that are in heaven, which are above, right? Is heaven above or is heaven underground? It's above, right? Thank you. So guess what? Guess what the Kemetics say? As above, so below. It's the same thing. What's going on in heaven is going on right here on earth. As above, so below. The Bible says keep your mind on the things of Christ, not just the things here. It's the same. If people are focused on the things of here, they're going to be here type of reactions. If people value money over life, money is going to rule. I'm going to leave that right there. MOL, money over life. I ain't downgrading nobody's thing. But it's kind of messed up because money gives you paper things or gives you tangible things. Tangible things can't be above. So that doesn't balance out. That doesn't balance out. If you focus only on this or heavily on this, you're unbalanced. Your above thinking is low, but your physical thinking is high. That's unbalanced. That's not balanced. That's not balanced. It's unbalanced. And then some people will be so spiritual that they're no good. Everything. Well, God said that you can't drink water unless it's anointed by him. So we must pray over the water 7 times. Then we got to walk around the cup 10 times. Then we got to give him the glory. Then we got to give him an offering to drink. Come on, man. I'm thirsty. Can I get a cup of water? For real, though? Like, why I got a tab to get a cup of water? So some people be so spiritual, they have earthly no good. That's scripture too, quote unquote. Well, you heard some pastors say it. The bottom line is that's out of balance. You got to balance. We got to put ourselves in position to be balanced. Otherwise, we're going to drive ourselves Looney Tunes. We're going to drive ourselves crazy chasing these things. You could chase all this money, but if you ain't got your home life right and your spiritual life right and your physical right and eating good, you killing yourself. You unbalanced. You unbalanced. Now, how does being out of position cost you? Being out of position could cost you missed opportunities. You might not be qualified for a job because you was too lazy to go get your training to pass the test. So you're not in a position due to laziness. That's one way. Not having the funds due to bad spending habits. I'm only going to go through a few. I ain't going to go through all. Not having enough funds through the tricking, through the gambling, through the buying, I ain't going to name no brands, but buying all these expensive clothes. When a business opportunity comes, somebody want to sell you a food truck fully equipped for $2,000 because they tired of the business or they made enough money, they hit their goal. You ain't even got $2,000 to go back because you done spent it up. So you ain't in position. Not having enough money could definitely put you out of position. Not fulfilling your obligations, so your reputation is shot. If you keep telling people you're going to do stuff for them, you know what I'm saying? Let's say you're a mechanic and you fixing on these people's cars, you never fix their car. An opportunity come, a millionaire want to offer you a contract, but he go around asking other customers and they say, nah, he don't do good work. You done took yourself out of position. It ain't even got to be a millionaire. Let's just say if it's a car dealership, which is millionaires. I'm just breaking it down. A car dealership that's making $100,000 a month selling cars. I'm just talking about the volume. You know what I'm saying? And they want you to be a contractor with them, but they get your reputation is shot. So you ain't gonna be in a good position. Dumb decisions. Robbing somebody for $200. Man, that can't even buy commissary, bro. Like, how long that commissary gonna last? A month? I mean, we gotta start using our brains, first of all, to balance our physical and mental and spiritual. We gotta balance this stuff out so we could put our bodies and mentality and spirit in a position to grow. Or I'm gonna just say to elevate. And you don't have to take these giant jumps. The goal is to get better every day. To get to a point where you practicing enough stuff just flow. If you practicing basketball, your shot be a little off, you know what I'm saying? But you practice that stroke. Then one day you out there, you not even thinking it. That's what we got to do. Another way we take ourselves out of position is ill preparation, or we don't prepare. We don't even mentally prepare for an interview. I help people. We do mock interviews. I did it for a long time. But we help individuals get resumes together. But the key is the mock interview. A mock interview was just like a sample interview. So I asked them certain questions like, so why should we hire you? What did you do on your last job? What did you like most about your last job? What did you hate the most about your last job? So what we do is we talk about or we go over ways for them to overcome these questions so that they could be hireable. You see what I'm saying? So we put them in, we prepare them so they'll be in position to get employment. You don't know the words to speak. or the knowledge needed. Again, all you got to do is read, watch some now you can watch videos. We didn't have that option. You know what I'm saying? I used to rock with Steve Coakley back in the day. You know what I'm saying? As far as like his tapes, you know, he'd come to town. I never got to catch him in town. I would always miss him. You know what I'm saying? But I would have somebody get me the tapes. So I would get the Steve Coakley tapes and some other individuals that was teaching some good stuff back in the day. But once again, you have to have that knowledge in order to speak to certain people in certain circles. If you don't have that kind of knowledge, they ain't gonna fool with you. Religious organizations. You know what I'm saying? I've been recruited by a lot of religious organizations, I'm gonna just say a lot of organizations, period. And if I don't vibe with what they vibing with, I'm not gonna put myself in that position to even consider, what they trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have and also you could be ignorant and get sucked into a position to be a crash dummy. What does that mean? Somebody put you in a position to get used up. So that being said, to conclude this, or to end, I just want to say this. By you putting yourself in position, by you putting your family in position, this is how society would benefit. There would be more productive children. More children will see their parents being productive. I'm not just talking about being robots. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a robot, so be it. But actually instilling in their kids things that they should do to put them in a better position. So you have more productive children. That's a byproduct of this. You have a higher standard of living. You won't be like the lazy, I don't want to call him a bum, but the lazy guys that are just bumming around doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling them bums, but they bumming around. So you have a higher standard of living because you will want, I don't want to say just things, you will just want a clean house. You'll want food in the kitchen, a washer and dryer, clean clothes. You'll want a higher standard of living. And that passes along with the children as well. Cultural imprint is stamped on the world. What does that mean? Instead of just, I'm gonna talk about black people right now. Instead of just being considered black with all the stereotypes, you be looked upon to change that stereotype. Like for me, when I get around other cultures, other individuals, super rich people, they expect me to act or think a certain way, but I'm the same. Also, once they find out the education piece, that alone is just respect. I don't even have to talk. Once they spew the credentials out, they respect that. So I'm in position to be heard anyway. I'm not ego tripping. I'm just saying that's a position I put myself into because I had those type of goals on the type of crowds that I wanted to mingle with. The politicians, the business owners, the facility owners, policy makers, things of that nature. I could throw on a suit and tie. I won't go in there dressed like this. I throw on a suit and tie because guess what? You got to put yourself in a position. You got to put on you got to put on shoulder pads to play football. So if you're going to talk to the suits, for them to respect you, if you ain't got no weight, you got to throw on a uniform. I'm just saying, you got to be a chameleon. Also, change in corporate processes as it pertains to culture and race. What does that mean? Like, you want to change the corporate thought processes of, I'm just talking about us, what black people bring to the table. You see what I'm saying? Are black teachers lazy and sleep, or are they really teaching these kids? Me, I'm out here. I'm trying to help these kids as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when these teachers or these other workers see me putting in all this work like this, it changes the thought process that past stereotypes, black people lazy, Black people ignorant. Black people don't want to do nothing. My goal, I be changing them stereotypes because I got to show these kids a positive role model. I'm not perfect and I'm human, but I at least want to show them while you at work, you working. You ain't on your phone doing this all day. When I'm working with kids, my phone on silent and I'm focused on what they need. Even the adults, I'm focused on what they need. And if I'm expecting a call or something, I let them know, like, I'm be getting a phone call, so if I hop on the phone while we in the meeting, I'm not disrespecting you, but I got to take this. So you have to put yourself in position. Also, lastly, you'll be more spiritual. You'll be a more spiritual operating individual if you put yourself in that position to get the spiritual knowledge for your heart and your spiritual mind frame to grow. Which in turn, the byproduct of that should be a more spiritual household. If you're married with kids, you should be blessed. Anything in the bedroom, if you're a Christian, God say handle your business. So if you want to throw on a clown suit, he throwing a clown suit. She got the whipping up. Hey, nothing in the bedroom is defiled. Handle your business. You're in that position. But at the end of the day, being in position or focused on putting yourself in position usually will have a positive outcome. And even if you don't get that position at that point, the key is by you being prepared, by you being ready, by you having the right words to say, the right posture that you're in. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be respected. And respect go a long way. Respect as far as your reputation, being solid, you know what I'm saying? Being a man or woman of your word. Also just doing what you say you're going to do. Put yourself in a positive position. Everybody ain't perfect. Life happens. You can't do everything when you said you was going to do it. It is what it is. But what I am saying to end this is for the future. Okay? Think about the position that you want to be in 1 year from now. Write this down. 3 years from now. You think I'm about to say 4? No. 5 years from now. And then 10 years from now. That's important. I'm not going to repeat it. If you do not write down, or put in your phone and have it on your calendar that you see this every morning, this matches daily, that you could put in your phone. We didn't have this option. You could put this in your phone, 6 o'clock a.m. every morning when you wake up, or whenever you wake up, boom, your goals is right there in the position you want to be in. If you keep your mind focused daily, not every other, not every week, not every, daily, just that alone should guide you to where you need to be in those positions, because you're going to stay focused on what it takes to get there. Even if you let your kids read that or answer, stop your alarm and read that daily. Mama, your goal, remember, I'm just saying, little things like that change lives in a big way. That's it. That being said, that's all I got for y'all. I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Until next time, the